Little introduction. Yo, it's your boy Kenzo Picasso. Listen, y'all, we tapping into the Weymouth Street Indictment. This video from American Confidential. Y'all know about American Confidential. Listen, we tapping right into it. We already got the chat here. We got the mods in the building already. You feel me? We already been live. This recording for everybody who be tuning in to Art of Edition TV. Let's tap right in. The reason why I'm watching this is because Weymouth Street is a Kensington staple. Everybody know about Weymouth Street. Like throughout my addiction, So we had to tap into that. We had to switch gears about the medical marijuana. So we going to listen. The medical cannabis about to roll up. About to tap into this. Hey, stay tapped in.
This is the 3100 block of Weymouth Street in North Philadelphia.
It's a massive drug trafficking conspiracy spanning nearly a decade.
What federal investigators called ground zero for a long-running drug operation in plain sight.
Involving tremendous volumes of fentanyl and narcotics.
Those people you see lining up, allegedly customers for fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, and more.
It's about, but listen, this is a video done by American Confidential. He's a creator, but I feel like y'all should know. I feel like a lot of people know him, but just give you a short story. He talks about the Philly. He documents the Philly drill scene. So he talks about the Weymouth Street. They're the younger generation of the Weymouth Street. They're into the music drill. So they are a big reason why the block got the big federal indictment, because of the spotlight it got from the music channeled in from the big drug operation and stuff. So I know they had videos and stuff, but they didn't come from him. I like him as a creator. I like his content, so this is why I want to watch it. We already talked about it. Let's see what he got to say. You gonna watch it with me? Okay, for sure.
Sold openly around the clock for years, until now.
We have permanently removed a drug trafficking organization out of the streets of Philadelphia, and they're going to stop pouring guns and chemicals and drugs into our community.
Yo, that's probably right there on Weymouth. They was the whole time it's popping outside. They doing all that. They inside making this music. Look. They different. They showing this.
The feds say the operation.
Where's that video? Like, what? No, I ain't see the red dot on his back. Hold up. My fault, y'all. That, you talking about that? See that super? You seen the Glock?
The feds say the operation revolved around one man, Jose Antonio Morales Nieves, aka Flaco. Prosecutors say he ran a drug network that stretched from Puerto Rico to the Kensington neighborhood of Philadelphia.
They shot a video on a block. They was different, gang. I don't know what's up with people putting that shit on the internet. That is not the shit to be on the internet. All of them, you see, like, all of, listen, y'all. Listen, I gotta watch another video from this guy. He did a
Kensington
hold on,
neighborhood.
I'm gonna stop. He did a video on the drill on one of the drill kids, and they were on live, right? Showing off their gun. Show you the button on it, the switch, and the whole time the cops is in the live, right? And they telling the other cops, yo, they in this store, and the cops walk right up to them on live and arrest them. I was like, that got to be the craziest. Yo, listen, man. So common sense is not so common nowadays. So people like, yo, why do y'all watch that stuff? I'm like, yo, man, they're doing this shit live. It's crazy.
Philadelphia has long been documented as the epicenter of the opioid crisis in the
Yes,
northeast
yes.
of the United States. A jaw-dropping,
Yeah.
face open.
Yes. This is why he now doing a video on it, so we gotta watch it.
Air drug market that operates with a
Remember, I did it. Yeah, I been tapped in the video. I think it was him that did it. I think this is he just tapping into it a little more. I think he already did a video.
degree of visibility and impunity rarely seen in modern American cities. However, the indictment and subsequent investigation of Weymouth Street and their operations by the FBI offers a granular, almost microscopic view into the machinery.
They had
that
everything.
powered this blight
Damn.
to the community. The 3100 block of Weymouth Street has plagued the city of Philadelphia for years, as it functioned 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Addicts can come to buy fentanyl, cocaine, and crack up and down the block. Weymouth Street, funded in part by their connects in Puerto Rico, some of the most violent and notorious Rican gangs. The government alleges they used multiple occupied and abandoned houses and lots on the block, as well as trash cans, ground drains, cars, tires, porches, basically anywhere to store.
They own the whole, like they're in the whole block.
In easily accessible places. In addition to the stashing of drugs in various locations along the 3100 block of Weymouth, they allegedly used several off-the-block locations to package and store drugs that they delivered to the block through re-ups. Up until August 2025, when the FBI searched both locations, Weymouth used a house on Tacoma Street as a bag house for fentanyl, and it used a garage on Rover Street as a stash house for crack. Weymouth also used a particular lot on Weymouth Street as a meeting place, stash location, and location to cook crack. They called it the bunker. It consists of a drywall structure with a physically connected tent structure with a door in between that can be opened or closed. Over the course of the FBI and Philadelphia Police Department's investigation in the case, about 4 keys of fentanyl, 727 grams of crack, and around 4 keys of powder cocaine were seized, either from controlled buys, arrest on a block, or the execution of search warrants. The government says that those relatively small amounts do not come close to representing the enormous quantity sold by Weymouth over the 9-year conspiracy that was charged. A conservative estimate, as the evidence underlying the case will show, is that Weymouth, for the 9-year period that was charged, trafficked roughly 10 to 18 keys of fentanyl and 16 to 30 keys of crack to buyers in the Kensington area. Weymouth represents what the government called a state of exception, where standard laws were suspended by force and commerce. For nearly a decade, from 2016 to late 2025, Weymouth Street operated and maintained its dominance not through just drug sales, but through the establishment of a parallel type governing structure involving payroll, shift work, infrastructure like management, and, of course, violence. The investigation culminated in a 41-count federal indictment, which will reveal a well-organized operation that was able to absorb repeated law enforcement shocks, including raids, arrests, and seizures, only to recalibrate and expand their operation.
I remember when they took all them bikes.
This video serves as a foundational dossier, organizing thousands of pages of court documents,
Bro, they was watching them for a long time. They waited. Like, that was crazy.
Transcripts and surveillance logs into a cohesive narrative. It dissects the organization's.
I think $1 million a day is maybe a month though. Maybe $1 million a week, but $1 million a day is OD. They ain't making $1 million a day. I think $1 million a month. I think they was making hundreds of thousands a week, hundreds of thousands a week, and $1 million in a month. That's what I put on them. Not $1 million in a day.
Hierarchy, its lethal indifference to its customer base and its sophisticated network stretching from Puerto Rico, and the disturbing cycle of recidivism that allowed convicted murderers and career criminals to operate the block without fear of arrest. The hierarchy structure resembles that of the mafia. The resilience of the Weymouth group stems from its biological and romantic composition. Unlike strictly transactional gangs, Weymouth is built upon a core.
Like they was so listen, they basically let you know they was paying the cops. The YNs made it hard. They could like, yo, we can't do business with y'all no more. Y'all, they killing. They doing too much. It was the business between. Listen, y'all, the business between the cops and them became tainted because all the murders. They like, we can't protect y'all no more. And they came crashing down on them.
Family tree with layers of loyalty and complicity that are difficult for the law to penetrate. The leadership structure includes moms, dads, cousins, sisters, wives, brothers, sons, and everything else, and of course violence in its enforcement. At the center of the conspiracy stands Nancy Rios Valentine, described by federal prosecutors as the quote glue of the organization. Her power is derived from a trifecta of relationships. She is the sister of Weymouth's deceased former leader, Fellow. She is in a romantic relationship.
That's the one. He died. He got killed in the midst of that. He's the Flacco and this guy are different. He got killed in the midst of the drill stuff by the YNs, I believe. Like, so it was, I know he got shot, but I feel like it was in the midst of that drill, like the YN drill stuff, and he ended up getting killed in it. Some stuff dealt with the youth, and so they saying she stepped up.
Relationship with who prosecutors say is the current street boss, Roman Montanez, and the sister of the chief enforcer, Angel Rios Valentine. Nancy's role defies the traditional girlfriend archetype often seen in blockbuster narco trafficking movies. The evidence places her in an executive capacity. Nancy didn't merely pass messages, she actively managed the shift schedule. Evidence includes handwritten ledgers and text messages where she assigns specific caseworkers to time slots on the block, like 7 to 3, 3 to 12.
Sheesh. Yo, remember he Confidential did what I said. I said, yo, we gonna go through the indictment. That's like 180-something page and 90-something page indictment. Yo, he different, gang. I ain't gonna lie, he different. I was more trying to get my story out. He different. I respect it. He got down and dirty in that joint. Look at all that, y'all. This all in that 100 and something pages, 50 pages, I know it was a lot.
The 7, etc. This schedule had an almost corporate-like rigidity, ensuring 24-hour coverage of the block. She was responsible for the
24 hours. You know that, and we all know that that block never closed. That's why you would say $1 million a day. Yeah, that's $1 million. They OD, but that's definitely hundreds of thousands, hundreds, like 100,000. Like, you mean they was pulling numbers.
Collection of the drug money.
But it was not all the time though, because sometimes it was some bullshit out there, like, you feel me? But they was running like a 400 or 500 company.
Seizures at a residence on Weymouth Street, which the FBI calls the headquarters, yielded hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash. $55,000.
See? Hundreds of thousands. They 50 beds is probably just on the shift change.
Seized in 2018. $124,000 in cash in 2022, and just recently in 2025, another $24,000 was seized from the property. Surveillance and wiretaps captured Nancy Rios Valentine directing the resupply of the corner runners. In one intercepted call, she coordinates the delivery of quote white rice, which is cocaine package, making sure that the inventory levels match the customer demand. Her authority even extended to discipline. On March 17, 2025, she was photographed publicly chastising a low-level street dealer, Lewis Williams, a money discrepancy. Immediately following her cursing him out, enforcers physically assaulted him, demonstrating that her word was backed by immediate violence. Viejo served as the daily operations manager and the romantic partner of Nancy Rios Valentine, living with her on 3100.
Now imagine, listen, I know somebody who went in the bando and found like they found a bag of some shit. I ain't gonna lie, they found a bag of treasures. Put it that way. And they was scared to even talk about it because they was like, yo, if they find out, them people going, listen. And he knew. I just know I ain't even know what it was. I just know it was a bag of treasure.
He turned their shared home into a fortified command center. Viejo's leadership style was characterized by pragmatism regarding the deadliness of fentanyl. He was the primary liaison with the guys that would cook up and the suppliers. His role involved personally testing and approving batches of fentanyl. He coordinated with upstream suppliers.
It's crazy because a lot of people was dealing with substance abuse also, you know. But the only this was them, they still had high respect for those people who, you know, he was the boss and he was trying it himself
To ensure the continuous flow of food or heroin and hard or crack cocaine. Unlike many leaders who insulate themselves, DAL remained hands-on, personally.
That's crazy. Like,
conducting sales of up to 50 to 100 bundles.
But they just militant. It's like, if you don't do anything stupid or like you just be like come there, do your business and keep it going, they the nicest people. But just know if you on that side of the, I guess it's all a facade like that. Cause I don't know. You don't know what they really said because I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what they really said. I just know it ain't. It ain't no. Y'all know. Shits. Anybody who been around there, or y'all know how it work. Put it that way. We don't gotta elaborate or put people on how it work. It's even you know type shit.
And participating in controlled buys with FBI informant. The ultimate authority of the Weymouth operation was Jose Antonio Morales Nueves, or Flaco, who operated with a level of insulation provided by distance. While he maintained ownership of the block in Kensington, he frequently resided in Lequillo, Puerto Rico. His extradition from Puerto Rico in October 2025 marked the culmination of the federal investigation. Flaco functioned as the financial backstop and the quote bank for the organization. Despite reporting zero legitimate income, he frequently posted significant.
Despite he the backbone for the operation, despite any the reported income. So to the world he brought in like, well, he poor.
Can bail him out for block runners and dealers, ensuring their silence and return to the workforce. Records show that his mom, Elizabeth Valentine Colon, would act as surety for the bail of up to $25,000 for Weymouth members. Angel Rios Valentine, brother to Nancy and a dead former leader, fellow represents Weymouth's capacity for violence. A career criminal with a federal firearms conviction, from 2020, he returned to the organization immediately upon his release from prison. His role was the protection of the enterprises.
I think, I don't know. I know yeah, put it that way, yeah. Cause a lot of them look up to those figures. A lot of those, they all look up to those cartel figures, put it that way. So I think so, yeah. Yes, the offsprings of those cartel people, yes, they're connected. I believe so. Listen, man, Kensington was the biggest. It's the biggest in the nation. Yes, I believe so. I don't. That's above my pay grade.
Assets and territory, basically the muscle. He stockpiled an arsenal of war-grade weaponry.
What the? A Steph Curry, what is that? ARP? And it like it been used. Y'all see it a little like messed up. Like, what the?
Upon his arrest in October 2025, while he was on federal supervised release, agents recovered a Glock 40 caliber pistol, an Anderson MFG assault rifle, a CD Defense semi-automatic assault pistol, an Aero Precision M4 E1 assault rifle from his residence.
E1, what?
Weymouth operated with a sophistication that mirrors legitimate business firms. They utilized a hub and spoke distribution model, keeping bulk inventory in off-site locations or stash houses and moving just.
You said like a flamethrower. It embeds some. I don't really know. I just know the standard guns. I'm not really a gun enthusiast, and I can't. I can't legally own one as of now. But listen, y'all. As I get my cloud up, we get a part in. Maybe we get a part in.
Time inventory to the retail location on Weymouth Street to make sure things were always running.
I'm a civilian now. I love it.
Including during police raids. The organization had multiple properties to spread the risk out. Effectively, 3100 block of Weymouth Street acted as the retail floor, an open-air drug market open 24/7. Another house on the block was the, quote, headquarters. This is where Nancy Rios...
Wow, I know that. Wow, yeah. Wow. They got the cribs, ain't this something?
...and Montanez lived. Right next door to that was the bunker. This is where Weymouth leadership would cook and...
Oh, wow. Bro, listen, y'all, this is all in the indictment. Remind you, this is all, he read the indictment, which was a lot, you know, and made a video. So the feds knew everything. You feel me? And wow. So the whole time I was walking past the crib, I knew about that the first crib they said is, you mean? But I ain't know that was that lady crib. But I remember these cribs. Cause remember, yo, I was a salesman. I'm going up to everybody's crib trying to sell my merchandise. You feel me? So I'm going up to these cribs and there's probably treasures up in that, John. You feel me? And I'm about you know the ones cause they got heavy gates outside. You feel me? Now that I think about it, all the gated up cribs is the ones that that they pointing out. My fault.
...prepare crack, especially constructed drywall/tent structure used for meetings, cooking crack, and avoiding surveillance. Right down the street was what they called an overflow stash house. This was used to store guns and bulk amounts of drugs. The house on Talcahuano Street was the fentanyl stash house, as I said earlier, ran by Sandino Hidalgo Genayo, or Domi. The garage on Rorer Street acted as the crack stash house. This is where Joey, or Joel, would operate from. Talcahuano Street, managed by Dome, was described by the FBI as the engine of Weymouth. Here, bulk fentanyl was cut and packaged for sale. The investigation showed a disturbing lack of care for the potency of the product. On July 26, 2025, federal wiretap captured a conversation between Viejo and Dome that they say encapsulates Weymouth's philosophy. Viejo says, if you can make it just a little bit stronger, that'll be good. Dome responds, bro, if I make it any stronger, it'll kill him. Viejo then says, okay, then leave it like that. Check to see if you can make it burn later. The FBI says this exchange confirms that the leadership was consciously aware that their product was deadly. Viejo's concern was not for potential overdoses, but rather the aesthetic quality of the drug when they talk about it, quote, burning lighter to appeal to user preferences. The raid on this spot yielded over 2 keys of fentanyl and thousands of stamped bags ready for sale.
Oh, wow.
Branding to
sheesh.
Differentiate their product in the competitive Kensington market. They used ink stamps on their wax paper baggies, creating recognizable product lines. Identified stamps included.
Oh yeah, Ric Flair.
Reflay.
Wow, that. Listen, y'all. This was the regular. That wasn't that one right there. Is not fentanyl. That's regular. That's the regular brown heroin. They got it mixed up. That's why I'm here, y'all, to let y'all know that Ric Flair is not fentanyl. The other thing they had is fentanyl. It was another stamp on the bottle. Let's see what they name it.
Ric Flair, Santa Muerta.
All right, look. The Santa. Remember I said that. I don't think y'all remember I said that a minute ago. I wish G was here. That Santa Muerte. That was now look, my fault. The Ric Flair is the Fetty. The Santa Muerte is the original. That's back in the 2016, 2017 though.
They used ink stamps on their wax paper baggies, creating recognizable product lines. Identified stamps included Rifle or Ric Flair, Santa Muerta.
Santa Muerta. That right there. That was the regular. That was no fentanyl or nothing. To my knowledge, that was not fentanyl at all.
Ocho Blanco, Debo.
Oh wow.
Little Devil, and
yeah, those probably all fentanyls for sure. I don't know nothing about none of them.
Junkie Love. Weymouth understood the cycles of addiction and government assistance. Evidence shows that on the last day of the month, immediately before welfare benefit checks were issued, Weymouth would flood the 3100 block with free samples of new fentanyl.
Oh, they know. That's crazy. They know.
The FBI alleged that this predatory marketing tactic was designed to increase user dependence on their specific brand, right as customers got their check. Surveillance images from October 31st, 2025 show crowds swarming the block for these free handouts. The FBI says Weymouth's, quote, labor management was formalized. Handwritten ledgers recovered from Nancy's house on Weymouth Street, which the government called the headquarters, like I said, detailed a rigid shift schedule. 7 to 3, 3 to 12, 12 to 7. The ledger lists specific.
Y'all shit, yo, they definitely had regular shifts. It definitely like when I had my fair share of you mean, it definitely was normal shifts. The 11 to 7, the 7 to 3, 7 to 3, 3 to 11 Jones.
Workers for each.
One. And but people try to like spin a line because some people they be scared, so they don't know. But not them. Nobody on that about there. They know. They looking. There's other people looking, and if you get back in line, you gonna get beat up. They gonna put hands and feet on you. Sorry, I ain't gonna lie. They definitely will.
Each slot, like Nan for Nancy, Panza, who was killed back in October, Eli, Moya, and Chippy. Workers were paid based on sales volumes, with proceeds divvied out daily at the headquarters. Wiretaps capture chicken or Javier Resto Barrios discussing.
All right, yo, the rapper was always on the block. The rapper Chippy, that's what made it so like. It's crazy how he looked. Always was on that block. Was cool dude. I ain't gonna lie.
The financial necessity of picking up extra shifts to pay bills, showing the position of the lower level dealers. Weymouth maintained its territory through a calculated projection of power. This was allegedly achieved through physical violence, the accumulation of power, and the sophisticated use of social media propaganda. They didn't rely on random weaponry. They amassed a paramilitary arsenal. The seizure of multiple assault rifles like AR-15s and AK-47 variants, semi-automatic pistols with extended magazine, indicates a readiness for war, says the FBI indictment. These weapons were placed in, quote, strategic locations like stash houses and under cars on the block. A distinct feature of Weymouth was his use of YouTube music videos to, quote, intimidate rivals and allegedly recruit young bulls. Weymouth made videos filmed directly on the 3100 block. Videos like Philly Boy in April 2024 features Elio, Chippy, and Grande, who the FBI says were brandishing firearms and flashing gang signs on the very corners they controlled. Pontrecito in November 2023 features the
that was the one, y'all. The feds seen that, and right after that, they came in. They had the guns on the block and all. That was like, wow. They putting this online? That was wicked.
A deceased leader, Panza, brandishing a firearm while lyrics explicitly threatens rival. I'll get you with Ponzo with Draco and you're stiff, is what the FBI says the lyrics translate to. The video 23, which came out in May of 2024, features Grande holding stacks of what the FBI says are drug proceeds on the block. The lyrics taunt law enforcement. You die today or you die today. I'll make sure of it. They told me the facts. You're talking to the DEA, says the indictment. Kyle Ken shows a co-contributor on the stoop of Weymouth's bunker holding a handgun with an extended magazine. The FBI says these videos were not merely artistic expression. They were proof of the gang's aspirations for domination. The FBI says that Weymouth
domination is crazy.
Constructed a physical stronghold known as the bunker on Weymouth Street.
Yo, but listen, I ain't gonna lie. The females, they nice. They're black. Like, you don't really. That's what the internet see. It's weird though. So it's like, I'm not like taking up for like. They did some things. You just talking about when you see. It's just crazy, bro. It just to be sad. It's just sad for life, you know. Just life in general. Like, life is precious, and I didn't take life. I took life for granted for years. I was out there, and I was, you know, indulging in the same drugs they were selling, the same drugs they was, you know. But it's still like, at least I could like now I could get right and look back on it some people get in life, either they lose their life or they in jail looking back at it, and it's like, So I feel for, I don't wish jail on nobody, y'all. For some reason, I just don't. I ain't gonna lie. I know you could deal with God. And when you do certain things, God will show you. So people ask for it.
I've described this.
I listen, y'all. I threw jails at the penitentiary wall, and the doors opened up. I ain't gonna lie.
Earlier, it consisted of a drywall structure attached to a tent, providing a private space for cooking crack and conducting business away from street view. However, the FBI managed to install a covert video/audio recording device inside the bunker. This device captured high-definition evidence of defendants cooking crack, and they had Roman Montanez and others discussing business strategy. The presence of Nancy's sister, Elizabeth, during the drugs discussions shatters her defense of non-involvement. One of the most damning aspects of the Weymouth.
Wait, they was doing that in that thing on the side of the house? He said the drywall thing makeshift. Wow.
Investigation is the repeated failure of the criminal justice system to incapacitate these actors. Weymouth was staffed by individuals who had been arrested, convicted, and released, only to immediately return to the 3100 block. Joel, Perio.
Fact. I ain't gonna. No, but listen, y'all. They got the money was there to fight the cases. Come on now. And the court. That's why the feds had to step in. Feds from outside, like, they're not feds from outside, but the regular police was getting corrupted. They were seeing too much money and getting cut checks. You feel me? The feds had to step in. You know, some of them feds make a lot of money too, and they gonna make more money getting bigger butts. So they not in it. I don't think you could bribe. You can't. They ain't got enough money to bribe some federal agents. You hear me? So it don't work that way. But they probably could bribe like detectives and stuff like that. But enough was enough after the murders, man.
Crespo, or Joey, serves as the example.
And we talking about murders on both sides. Like the guy, fellow, he was like, imagine, like, you know how you got them old, like, hustling old heads? That's what they do. They probably sell like the power and stuff from the 80s and stuff like that. They only deal with like the older crowd though. They don't deal with the young, like, you feel me? That guy was giving that vibe. He had like that vibe. Like he was just older. And it is what it is at the time. Because when some people got respect, they got a respect level. So you got respect. Respect is given. So when somebody give you respect, you can't. Once you disrespect them, somebody give you respect, then you gonna get the wrath. Like you don't want the wrath of somebody, you know. So it was always them people gave respect. So that's I'm gonna leave it at that. Them people they gave respect. I ain't gonna lie.
Type of person I'm talking about. In 2003, he committed a murder just feet away from the 3100 block of Weymouth Street. He was convicted and sentenced to 15 to 30 years in prison. He served nearly 21 years. Upon his parole release in March 2023, he did not rehabilitate. He immediately resumed a leadership role, according to the FBI. He allegedly managed crack cocaine supply, utilizing the garage on Rover Street. His immediate return to the same block to allegedly commit the same crimes highlights the deep entrenchment of the organization. For Joey, Weymouth.
That's crazy. 15 piece, and you come back and you go back to the same joint? Like, geez.
Was the only home and employer that mattered. Adelita Gonzalez, the street level dealer.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. It's a lot of the dark skinned Puerto Ricans, and you would think that they just very African American until they start talking. That probably was for a lot of, so like that was another thing that made it feel, you know, it wasn't like they was like I know like one of the speakers, he's like, bro, I'm not racist because my grandmom is black and my other grandmom is white, but they both Spanish. But we talking about like one is dark skin and one is light skin. So it's like, and that was different. I used to have different talks with certain. I always had different talks with people. I never got that energy from certain people. Put it that way, y'all. So I got a different look look at certain things.
Simplifies the revolving door of local justice. A career offender with convictions dating back to 2003, she was arrested by local police for drug trafficking on October 23, 2025, the day before the massive federal takedown. After being processed and released by local authorities, she did not flee or hide. She went straight back to the 3100 block of Weymouth Street at 6 a.m. FBI surveillance cameras captured her
Right back at the morning shift. That's crazy.
showing her new court paperwork to Weymouth members hours before the raid, treating the arrest as a minor nuisance before resuming work. Angel Rios Valentin was convicted federally in 2020 for possessing a firearm taken from the block. He was sentenced to 60 months. When he got out, he was on federal supervision. He immediately rearmed himself with an even larger arsenal of assault weapons and allegedly resumed his role as enforcer on the block. Following the October 2025 takedown, a fierce legal battle ensued regarding the pretrial detention of all 33 members, specifically Nancy Rios Valentin. A significant portion of the evidence comes from the wiretap of Javier Resto Berrios, or
Yeah. Listen, bro. DM me, bro, or go in the description of YouTube and email it to me. Email me the information. Some way get it to me.
Chicken,
the information.
a review of 7 days of calls from May 9th to May 16th, 2025 provides a window into the mundane daily grind of this line of work. Weymouth used thin codes like food to refer to heroin, white rice or snow to refer to coke, and chinitas referred to crack cocaine vials. On May 10th, Chicken complains that nothing has come in, including snow, indicating that the supply train had been disrupted. The dealers constantly discussed the schedule. On May 12th, Chicken and Carla Diaz Resto anxiously discuss who has the Tuesday shift.
Listen, y'all, them phones is woo. They just make it better for, like, think of a phone. Anything you do on your phone, you making content. And possibly the world might know. Think of it that way, y'all. Any pictures, anything. People's phones get hacked, anything. Think of that. Because they just making it better for people who make content. To see this and people who want to watch this. Because godly, they got everything.
As the shift assignment determines their income for the week, they reference Nancy and Viejo as the financial arbiters of these disputes. On May 9th, Chicken notes that he has taken 50 packets, but checking for slow stuff, which means lower potency or worse product. The indictment of Weymouth is a document of systemic entrenchment. It shows a criminal organization that successfully, effectively seceded from the illegal order of Philadelphia for nearly a decade by combining family loyalty, corporate logistics.
That's what it is. It's the family. Like, they definitely, the whole family live on the block. They own the block. So nobody really calling the cops on them. Like, they really had to get, it's telling you, the YNs made it real hot. That block always got indicted. It always got ran down on and back up in motion. Like they said. So it's like the murders made it hot. And then it's just, they really like, so in order for cops to do a investigation, somebody got to call and report somebody selling drugs. And that's when they set up investigation. If nobody on the block reporting and making these calls, they gotta go about other ways to set up, and then the murders is what really what got them in there, got them in the door, I think.
Extreme violence and community propaganda.
The murders, them start investigating people, and the people start telling and stuff like that. And
created an ecosystem that survived standard policing. The fact that a murder committed in 2003, a gun seized in 2019, and a bag of fentanyl sold.
Once a murder happened, now they looking for a gun. Now they find they looking for a gun. They kick a door looking for a gun. They find a bunch of drugs. Now they find the drugs, and it start from the murder though. The murder, like, listen, if they would just do it, like a lot of blocks out there do business, no murders. They not on no radar to some saying. No murders. It'd be a family oriented block, like all Spanish people. No, but no murders and all that. It was the YNs start beefing. Cause a lot of that been active. People know though. My real Kensingtonites know. You feel me? They know what's up. So it's like, the murders is what killed that. Then they looking for murder. They kick the door and they find a box of this. They like, oh hell yeah.
2025 are all connected by the
Reported
same
to the
family on the
feds
same block
for a
and the same
bigger
indictment.
and report that. They kick that one door, report that to the feds. That one person, they like, where this come from? All right, yeah, we reporting you on this murder and all that, but where this come from then? I mean,
the same business model on the open air market was a highly organized generational enterprise that required a massive federal intervention to dismantle. Whether this
intervention
takedown breaks the quote.
Yo, he said federal intervention though. That mean that like all the federal bureaus sat down on some meetings about them. Cause it was the shit in Puerto Rico and all that. The kid double R again. Them having something to do probably with that. It was just a lot. So he said the federal, that word was just let you, like, that was crazy. He said the federal, what was the word again? He said hold up.
On May 9th, Chicken notes that he has taken 50 packets, but checking for slow stuff, which means lower potency or worse product. The indictment of Weymouth is a document of systemic entrenchment. It shows a criminal organization that successfully, effectively seceded from the illegal order of Philadelphia for nearly a decade by combining family loyalty, corporate logistics, extreme violence, and community propaganda. They created an ecosystem that survived standard policing. The fact that a murder committed in 2003, a gun seized in 2019, and a bag of fentanyl sold in 2025 are all connected by the same family on the same block and the same indictment under the same business model. On the open air market was a highly organized generational enterprise that required a massive federal intervention to dismantle.
Okay.
Whether this latest takedown
might not be here. It's getting late.
Or
it's getting late. I'm out.
The next generation.
Hey, just listen. I might just say good night tomorrow because it's about that time. I ain't gonna lie. It's 10:30. About that time. I ain't gonna lie. For sure.
Remains the open question for Kensington. Viejo was arrested following the execution of search
I'm rolling
warrants
this
in
up
August 2025.
for the late
Fentanyl,
my
crack
nightcap.
cocaine.
This is my nightcap. I'm about to chill, watch something, get some shorts out, just 1 or 2 shorts. Get this video uploaded on the our Edition TV. Tap in with me, man. I pushed the limit. It's late.
And over $24,000 in cash and business ledgers were recovered.
But that was we really know the I'm gonna get on that.
Beyond the drug trafficking indictment, he is charged with a conspiracy related to an animal fighting ring involving roosters. Agent found a key at his home that opened a neighboring property where a Glock 27 pistol was recovered. In addition to drug conspiracy charges, the indictment against the 33 defendants shows violent and diverse nature of the enterprise, with charges including the conspiracy to sponsor an animal fighting venture and also seized dozens of guns, confirming the group's control over the block and neighborhood. While the removal of the leadership triad and low-level dealers is a significant victory for law enforcement, the long-term challenge remains the balloon effect. The underlying demand for drugs in Philly and Kensington has not been addressed, meaning the thousands of customers who patronize the Weymouth Street will likely migrate to adjacent blocks, potentially leading to increased violence as rival groups contest the newly vacant and highly lucrative real estate. Editors know here at the end.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's crazy, y'all. It's about that time. Oh. I'm gonna shout out to America Confidential for that. You feel me? That was a good video. Listen, y'all. I just want to say the topic of this video was for the cannabis, like cannabis advocation. I want to advocate, and just to show people. I'm gonna talk about that. Y'all been great like I said, about that time. So Yo, it's your boy Kenzo Picasso, and this is our addiction. Listen, everybody, y'all been great. I want to say good night, man. Y'all have a great night, great blessings, man. Remember, tomorrow's another day of sobriety. We gotta keep doing it. We gotta keep grinding. We gotta keep shining, man. You feel me? You gotta take one foot. You gotta take one step forward and take the other foot and place it in front of that and repeat the process, man. Feel me? You gotta stay focused, put it that way, y'all. And you gotta put your faith in God. For sure, you can't do it by yourself. Can't do it. You feel me? You gotta live life every day. And thank God that you woke up. Thank God that you could take a night's sleep. You feel me? Because some people out there right now who don't have a home, who don't have that blessing, that roof over their head. So we just gonna take a moment of silence for the people that don't, who not able to get in their bed, you know. And for my people who is able to do that, don't take that for granted. I want to say that. Have a good night. It's your boy Kenzo Picasso, and this is our addiction. See what I'm saying?